the value of your database and how important it is, which I think is a little bit about what Villia is going to talk about today. I sold a $50,000 HUD home to Linda Buckmaster back in 1997. I know some of you weren't even born yet. And she has since bought and sold 8 homes through me. But even better than that, she has referred people who've referred people who've referred people, 8 levels deep, 65 referrals, over $400,000 in commissions as a result of one person that I stayed in contact with. What's that now? 26 years ago. So on Saturday, the 23rd, I will have been in real estate 30 years. Yeah.
Wow.
So
That's amazing.
there you go.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So that's very cool. Let me see. Who did we miss? Who did I miss? Who did I not chat with yet? I think Marlena. I think I got everybody. If I missed somebody related to where you're at, and where your business is coming from, put it in your chat so that we as team leaders on this call can reach out to each other, share ideas, and be great referral partners to one another. So that is very cool. So be sure to utilize the chat. And I'm gonna try to pay attention to the chat, but the reality is it would be way better if y'all just got off mute and asked your questions, because today we're really talking about the concept of maintaining referrals and business growth. So why do we focus on lead generation? And the reality is we need to make sure that we constantly have a great pipeline and we're moving it through. If we're purchasing leads with people who we don't even know and who don't trust us, those leads take a lot longer to convert. We just know that, right? So what we're looking to do in today's class is to focus in on our sphere and to curate a list of 50 people. We're going to call it the top 50. And we're going to curate this list of top people that we already know and trust, and who, more importantly, know and trust us in return. We are going to cultivate this relationship with them because we believe that they are going to refer to us or send us at least one referral per year. So not much, but just one referral. And that one referral over 26 years or 30 years, as Marguerite said, could be worth $400,000, 65 referrals later. So it's really useful to take a look. Oh, I have this telephone. It's my best CRM, right? How can I focus in and say, who are the people, the 50 people who know and trust me the most, so that I can focus in on them? Who, if anybody can put in the chat, or if all of you can put in the chat, what CRM are you using? If you're with EXP, you get KV Core, but that's not what I want to know. What I want to know is, what are you using? And if it's an Excel spreadsheet, that's amazing as long as you're using it. So throw it into chat what CRM you're using or how you're paying attention to your sphere. Follow up, boss. That's cool. Excel, I love Excel, right? Top producer, that's amazing. Okay, so we have the AppSphere, KV Core, and Trello, so that's awesome. So we have different ways, different tools that we have to organize our leads. So in those different modalities, right, what we want to do is we want to hashtag assign something called the top 50. So it's the most important people that you plan in 2024 to nurture and reach out through personal, meaningful touches. So can somebody come off mute and tell me what they would consider a personal and meaningful touch? Anyone? Okay. Is it just a phone call to say, hey, how are you? What's going on? Happy holidays?
Yes, it can be that. It can just be to say hello and just see if they need anything.
That's amazing. You're absolutely right. So a meaningful touch is actually picking up the phone and reaching out, right? And having that conversation. Does a text message count? Why not?
Only if I say yes.
Why not?
How are you?
I say yes if they respond and engage.
I say yes if they respond and engage.
I would say yes as well, just because sometimes it's people's preferred method, like a lot younger demographic prefer to communicate that way as opposed to a phone call.
Anybody else have a thought?
Birthday card.
Birthday cards are awesome. Anniversary cards, house anniversary cards, right? those kinds of things. So these relationships that you're cultivating with people are your key to success, because if we figure out how to serve our top 50, right, we're going to be able to then serve so many more. As Marguerite shared, her one turned into 65. So I'm going to share my screen and I'm just going to give a thought process. So one of the ways that we've learned is that agents get lost in their telephones, they get lost in their CRMs, they lose their focus, right, on how to organize their top 50. So I'm just going to share a screen, and these resources are available. Let me know if you guys can see it or not. These resources are available. I'll send the link into the chat later today before we end. But this is an example of a spreadsheet, right, that focuses in on our top 50 and our top 50 list. And the goal here is to be very intentional, right? The idea is that you list out your top 50 people, you put in their emails, you put in their phone numbers, right? And a lot of agents will add their mailing addresses, right? Because we're looking to make sure that we touch them. So I challenge the concept of a text message only because we can one-up a text message, right? We can one-up a text message by saying, hey, I'm going to reach out and call you if you're available, right? And then make that text contact be much more meaningful by becoming voice to voice. And then I'm going to challenge the voice conversation to say, hey, I'm having this conversation. Is it possible for us to meet for a coffee? Right? And then really focusing in on the concepts of face-to-face and really those relationships, because we've met with somebody for 12 times a year, right? Talking to somebody 12 times a year over text, having a voice conversation 12 times a year over text have significant differences in the way somebody will respond and give you a referral. Does that make sense to everybody? It does? Okay, that's great. So the concept of the top 50 is to put your 50 people in this list. And what we're doing is every month we're going through and we're saying, did we make that phone call? Did we send a text message? Did we focus in on, did we have an active transaction with this person? Did we have a closing? Did they come to a client event? Because as agents, we should be touching our top 50 12 times a year and making sure that they're invited to client events. So what events are y'all having, or have you guys planned out for 2024? Anybody have any thoughts?
We just did a client pie pickup party and
Awesome.
we had 300 people come. There were 5 of us.
5 people, 5 agents, 300 people. How many referrals did you generate?
I would say personally, probably 2.
Okay.
Just directly from the event, like, oh, thank you so much. Hey, we've been thinking about you, you know.
That's awesome.
Something that's really to keep in mind too is that what I notice is after any kind of an event, there's some like maybe almost a month, I don't know what the word is, month drag, so to speak, where people are just thinking about you and they'll run into somebody who might be thinking about real estate, and next thing you get a call. It's not necessarily directly connected to the event. It's the fact that you've connected. Like I just had my holiday party Saturday night and had probably 150 people or so attend. And Emily, what I'll see is probably over the next 30 days, I'll start to see more conversations, more connections, more people reach out as they either thank me for the event. They'll say, by the way, I was talking to my neighbor and they're thinking about selling in the spring. Or
that's exactly it. Because when we work on client events, it's not, the event is the celebration, right? It's all the work that we're doing towards the event. It's making the invitations, bringing 300 people to us, right? It's sharing in the goodwill with them and then making sure that we're following up with them, right? So for everybody that was invited to the client event, having that follow-up phone call in the following month and then preparing them for the next event is where the magic lies, because then you're top of mind. So when either they need to move, right, because of the life events that they're going through, whether it's debt, divorce, expansion, consolidate, like they're downsizing, right, they're relocating for work, whatever that life event is, because you're top of mind and because you're reaching out to everybody, you have this opportunity to consistently know what's happening in their lives and making sure that you're tracking. Using a spreadsheet like this allows you to know what and how have you reached out to everybody. And I think it's important to focus in on that, because when we take a look at the 50, and I did screen out the names for the top 50 names, because this is actually a live spreadsheet that someone uses. And so what's important is taking a look at it. When you look at a screen like this, or you look at this Excel spreadsheet, what are you noticing? What are some of the ahas that are coming through from the touches? Can anybody share?
I can share.
Okay, go ahead.
I mailed out 600 Christmas cards. It went out the first week of December. Got one listing out of it so far.
Okay, that's amazing. So I think what's important to focus in on when we're paying attention to who we're tracking, right, and our top 50, we're taking a look at what are the kinds of touches that we're doing. So what you'll notice in something like this, so if you were to pare down your list to the top 50 people who know and trust you best, right, and you cultivated a relationship with them, and starting in 2024 in January, right, a lot of agents do new year, new home letters, like how many families do you want to help this year, that kind of a thing. And then you followed it up with some sort of a phone call and a personalized note, right? So being able to track what kind of you're doing every year, but most importantly, the number of referrals that are coming through from that person, right? So you'll notice that, for example, in the first row, the touch score was 66% for this particular person, right? They had no referrals, right? Whereas when you look down this list, this particular person was touched very meaningfully. So they had a pop by, they had a referral, there was a birthday card that went out to them, they had another referral, right? They had it looks like they had 10 referrals, right? And that's what they said that's what the tracker shows. This particular person for this agent was touched 12 times very meaningfully, right? So they had 100% touch score and they received 10 referrals. And I think that's really important to focus in on, because how many of us track our referrals? Can anybody share with us who's tracking their referrals besides Marguerite? Anyone? Follow Up Boss does a really good job with that. Nobody's tracking their referrals. Come on, guys. Seriously? All right. This is your opportunity to really cultivate that and understand that. And the reason why is because when we look at a top 50 spreadsheet like this, we have results, right? So when you pay attention to who's referring for you, right? So this is a list of people who have referred. Obviously, the contact names have been taken out, but we're looking at their statuses. And so here we're looking at 94 total yields, total leads, 57 were closed, 3 are pending, and 11 are active. That's how powerful this type of a spreadsheet is, or this type of a workbook is, because what you're looking to do is you're looking to talk to 50 people 1 hour a day to generate close to 86 transactions. Does anybody have a sphere that is generating referrals and closed business at this type of a level? And if not, can anybody share what it is that they could do in order to begin to curate this list? Any thoughts? What would be your first step? to curate your list of 50? Cheryl, go for it. No? Nobody's got any thoughts on this? Of how we can curate our 50? Where can we go to get our 50 list?
We can start by identifying them, right? Is start by identifying who those people are. If you look through your text messages or emails over the last 90 days, you'll usually see some sort of a trend. And even if you take a simple list like she has and just start with 5, maybe 10. Some of you haven't been in real estate very long. So I was noticing the other day, Alicia, who happens to be on this call, has a little, almost like a clothesline that she has a picture of each one of her clients she sold homes to. And she's relatively new, hasn't been in real estate very long. And I thought, how amazing would that be to do that throughout your career? I wish I had done that over 30 years, right? I'd have a huge stack of pictures on a wall, which I do have quite a few. The best time to plant a tree was 30 years ago, right? The second best time is today. If you can create a visual where you can see even 5 or 10 of your people, don't get overwhelmed with 50 if that's too much for you. Start with 1. Like I started with Linda Buckmaster.
Yeah, and that's really true, right? We do focus in on paying attention to 50 because sending 600 Christmas cards can be overwhelming to people. That is an amazing thing that, Julie, that was you who did that, right? Who sent 600 cards? That's an amazing feat to handle. And did you handwrite those cards or did you use a service to handle that for you?
So I started doing them in 2020. And the list has grown to 600 now this year. But this year is the first year I handwrote half of them and the other half was not handwritten. So I'm guilty of that, but usually they're handwritten. And that's just one of the touches out of other things that I do.
What other things do you do in order to cultivate your referral business?
Birthday cards.
Okay.
They worked out greatly. I started them in 2020 and I built on it. Database calls to those same people. And I took Marguerite's idea. I've been listening to her say it for years and I started doing my monthly newsletter. But I'm now transferring to do it electronically rather than mailing it because a lot of the folks that I send it to told me that it's okay. You can email it. You don't have to save the stamp.
I would keep snail mailing it, you guys. Here's the reason I snail mail and email. I snail mail and email because it helps me clean up my database. And most email anymore goes to trash. It goes to spam. And you can, for the ones that say you don't need to mail it, that's fine. You can take them off the snail mail list. But I really encourage you guys people don't get as much mail anymore. And I really encourage you guys to continue to snail mail. I do a thing too called where I trash it, my little letter of the heart. I go through and I don't necessarily handwrite or sign them all, but I'll look at the names. And if I see your name and I haven't talked to you in a while, I might just scribble at the bottom, "Hey, Julie, great to see your name. Let's get together in January and have coffee," or something. Or "I hope the kids are well," or "I hope your husband's doing great," or whatever it is that I call it trashing my letters. But I encourage you guys not stop snail mailing. I can't get those words out, but I really encourage you to do both. That's just my opinion for what it's worth.
And I think that's a great opinion, right? I think that's a great thought process. Whatever you can do to connect with your database on a month-to-month basis in a meaningful way is what works, right? Sending out a market report from your IDX website, or let's say KV Core or some other follow-up bus or whatever, would any of you consider that a meaningful touch? Anyone? So I would not. I think it's really important to make sure that everybody's getting your market reports, or if you were using like KV Core Home app or whatever it is that they're getting as a reminder, that's fine. But as Marguerite shared, that kind of information goes into trash. It can go into spam really easily. And especially if they're not, let's say somebody just moved into their home, they're like, I don't need to know what my equity is, right? That's not important to me. What is important to them though, is the phone call that says, hey, I'm following up. It's 2 months post-close. What resources do you need? Are all your appliances working? Do you have the information for your warranty? That kind of a thing. It's everything that's happening for your referral source, for your past client, like what's important to them. And that's what's really going to generate the referrals that you're looking for, so you can grow your referral business from maybe a few referrals in a year to something that's pushing 86 transactions every year. So those kinds of things. So in January, what's everybody's idea for January, February, and March? What do you guys want to do as meaningful touches for your clients? What are some ideas?
I'll go.
Sure.
I'm doing something I've never done before, and I'm a huge snail mail fan. It really works in our counties here in Northern California. And I'm sending out a family portrait. It's just a generic card. It has nothing to do with real estate. And I've just actually mailed these out, so I'm excited to see. I sent out 150. That's my closest sphere. So I'm excited to see what comes of it.
So that's awesome. So you're sending that out for January or for December?
So I already sent them out, so they're getting them now. And I just, one sentence on the back, just thinking about you, Happy New Year. One sentence, because
That's cool.
I'm
And are
starting.
you following up with everybody? Are you making a phone call or a text message, or are you letting them know that this was sent to them?
So I just signed up for this really awesome voicemail service, which I know sounds a little unpersonal, but so I sent out a voicemail to 100 people a few weeks ago, and several of them called me back, and that was just to make sure they got their invite to our pie party. And I got so many phone calls back. Oh my goodness, we're so sorry we missed your call. It just went straight to voicemail. My dad wants to sell his condo. Like, we're thinking of you. It really, so I'm going to use that again. And if I can think of the name, I'll put it in the chat. It's awesome. It's cost like a penny a voicemail. And
Angie did that too, didn't she? Because I
yeah,
got a
I told,
message from Angie and I
yeah,
called her.
we
I was
did
like,
it
oh,
together.
this missed call. And she was like, yeah, I'm experimenting on this. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I think it's great because it actually sounds legitimate, right? It is legitimate,
Yeah,
but it sounds like it was like,
it's called Sly Broadcast. And actually one of our brokers gave us the idea at our rally that we just went to. And it's awesome. I'm a huge fan.
That's awesome. And when you're leaving that voice message, are you being intentional? Are you just saying hi, or are you saying, hey, this is Emily, and I'm super excited to connect with you. Call me back. Or do you ask for the referral? What is the message that you're sending people?
I've only done it once, but in considering it's going to hundreds of people, it's pretty generic. Hi, how are you? This is Emily, how I would normally talk. If there's anything you need, I'm never far away. Just ending it on that kind of a note.
That's awesome. So what are your touches or what is anybody's touches for first quarter, for February, for January, February, and March? What are you guys doing to touch your sphere, the people that are most important to you related to generating referrals and closed business, your fastest, least expensive referral lead generation business out there?
I
Michael,
usually send out a baseball schedule for my clients in San Francisco. I used to do it in LA too, because it just traffic impact is awful. And so I started doing that a number of years ago. So
that's awesome. Do you do that early in the spring?
I do it early in the spring because baseball season starts, it comes up fast. You want to have it in advance.
That's so true. That's so true. So what other touches do you do during the year besides baseball?
Like I said, birthday cards, Christmas cards, and then usually I'll do a text message every once in a while, like in between things, and then a phone call maybe a couple times a year.
I love that. And have you ever considered putting together an event for your clients to have them bring their family, their friends? Marguerite is like the event queen.
Yeah, it's prior to last year, I was in San Francisco. Our place is not wasn't really conducive to that. But now that I'm spending most of my time out here in Sonoma County, I can do something like that. So I was thinking about a barbecue this year.
I love that thought. So what other types of initiatives is everybody doing for 2024? And do you have a calendar put together so that you're on track to not only reach out to your most important, but also you know what it is that you're going to be doing throughout the year?
I haven't picked my phone up and actually called everybody in my database since I got my license. So I'm going to do that again. I want to focus more on hosting events, which I have an agent event coming up this week on Thursday. But yeah, just doing maybe like craft parties with my mom friends, maybe play dates at the park, getting into the mom Facebook groups and initiating people getting together and just getting my name out there a little bit more is part of my plan. But my big focus is going to be on social media because I've seen so much reward from that already. I need to just dial in my calendar a little bit better. So that's what I'm focusing on this week.
That's awesome. And when it comes to your social media, what do you find your focus to be?
Education. All my I do a lot of videos because I think people watch a video over reading stuff all day long. And so I just pick different topics like related to first-time home buyers or getting your house ready to sell, just trying to provide value to people. That way they can trust me as a professional.
I love that thought. Who else has a plan for 2024 as far as how they're curating their list, their referral-based list, and the initiatives that they're going to focus in on for 2024? Nobody? Come on, guys. There's gotta be somebody.
I don't have an answer for that, but just to piggyback on the last person who just spoke, I find that my testimonials on social media has worked a lot for us. It's really helped our business a lot, but it took years to build on social media. But I do a video testimonial with the client as I'm giving them the keys, or the seller who's signing at the title company for their closing documents. And I actually have a potential buyer right now. She's not a friend of mine, but her aunt would watch my videos, the testimonials that would come on, and she would message it to her niece. And then she told
That's amazing. That's amazing. That's like a person that you're like, I want to get to know you better because you are becoming one of my biggest business advocates.
Yeah, and she told her, she goes, when you're ready to buy your house, I want you to use this couple, my husband and I. And yeah, that's how she landed with us to buy her home. But social media has helped me a lot lately, especially because I don't really talk about myself or my husband doing such a great job, how great we are. I talk about the client and I talk about their situation without giving all the personal details away. But I would pretty much make my post look like maybe whatever their problem was as a buyer, whatever the problem was, and things that they had to go through in order to be able to buy a home. And again, not going through a whole lot of details, but to pretty much show the audience, if they're a buyer just like them, of what their concerns were and how it was addressed and how they overcame certain things and they were able to purchase a home. It's honestly really helped us with our business.
Is this the Tuesday tune-up? This is the Tuesday tune-up?
It is.
Oh, all right.
So hello, who just came on the call? When we're talking about how to generate 6 referrals a year, we're really focusing in on working with only the top 50 people that know and trust us. So we're in real estate and we're in the business of relationship building. The most effective way to build that book of business is through curating a list of people, right? It only takes 1 hour a day to develop genuine relationships with people that are in your top 50. So with a mindset of service, right? And I hear that. Julie really talked about her mindset to talking about how are we building our relationships in our real estate business, right? And it's really focusing in on talking to people 1 hour a day and really trying to move up the level of communication. So we're going from, if we get an email, we respond to the email, but then we'll also text them. Or if we get a text message, we'll respond with the text message, moving it up to a conversation. If somebody calls us, right, we shoot to set that appointment, and always building up on that level of communication. So we make it as personal as possible to generate as much business for ourselves, focusing on the client, making sure that we are incredibly focused on serving their needs, making sure that the people that we're interacting with are really focusing in on how we can help them, and so that we're always top of mind. Marguerite, do you have any closing thoughts for Tuesday Tune-Up?
No, I just think the thing that it's so easy for people to get overwhelmed, and we get focused on things that aren't nearly as valuable, right? And so the most important thing is to just start today. Start with one thing, one small thing, for example, if you do not have a database, today's the day. Today is the day to get your database set up. I don't care if you have one person in there or 1,000 people in there, but start today is the most valuable thing that you can do. A lot of people get caught up in, it's too expensive to send out a mailer. A 600 person database, which the average agent has 200 people in their database, will cost you about $160 to $170 a month to send a mailer. Or you could go spend $170 on Zillow, which will get you nothing. If you think about that, and maybe you don't have the budget right now, I know things are tight for a lot of people to send out a mailer, but phone calls are free. You could do a quarterly mailer, or like Emily's just sending out her family portrait, which I just love that. It's a matter of just doing something, whether it's a note card or a birthday card or whatever it is. It doesn't matter what it is, but maybe it's just a thank you card or a I'm thinking of you card. Have stamps, have note cards handy, or anything. Anything will start to get results. So that I think is the most important thing. If you get one tip today and implement it, it can change your business.
And I'm in agreement with that. I also think that it's important for consistency. So I've added today's resources into the link. You guys can click on it. They're free. So they'll download it. It's a tracker. So like Marguerite said, if you don't have a CRM, or let's say your CRM overwhelms you, because most people put everybody in their CRM without any kind of organization or structure to it, and then people get lost in it. Use an Excel spreadsheet. It's a great way to start. And also, there's something called the 8651 Marketing Handbook. That's a free ebook that you guys can read. If you're not sure how to curate a timeline for marketing, it's a great resource to read and to understand how to implement the conversations that you're trying to have with your clients in order to serve them so that you grow your real estate business. So it was really nice to have this opportunity to share this information with everybody. I have to say, this is something that's really hot on my mind for 2024 as I continue to grow my top 50 list. Personally, I may have a story like Marguerite's at the end of this year of 2024. We'll see if that really happens. But that referral that came to me from a top 50 referral source, right? They shared with me a client who needed to buy a $15,000 home. So I sold it to them. I've now listed that home because it's a fix and flipper. And then we're planning on doing a couple of other things. And it's all through this referral stuff. And it's an amazing way to grow your business. So I highly recommend that you guys get the resources and you pay attention, or you read the book and connect with your sphere over the holiday and figure out who you love and who you're willing to connect with on a monthly basis. So those are my thoughts.
Thank you so much, Vilia, today for stepping in. I appreciate it. And we're looking forward to having a lot more guests because I love all the feedback and the input that you guys provide. So if any of you are on here and you want to be a guest host for Tuesday Tune-Up in the coming year, I can tell you that I have learned more by teaching than anything else I've done. So I'm super grateful for the time and energy you put into this presentation today, Vilia. So thank you guys so much. And thank you, Vilia. You're amazing. Appreciate you.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
Ciao.